Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Sometimes you can't fix the stupidity of restaurant guests. Just tell them to get lost, like our OP did in the first story. Because complaining about the presence of a guide dog and calling it a wild animal would only occur to some Karen. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. What are you going to do about the dog in the restaurant? For context, I'm a restaurant manager in Ireland. Today we had a couple walk in with a dog in tow. I was just about to blurt out that we couldn't allow pets in the restaurant when I realized it was a guide dog and one of the customers was blind. Led them to a free table with a bit of extra space for the dog and happy days. About 10 minutes later, a family of 2 adults and 3 kids walks in. I organize a table and they sit down. About 5 minutes later, the mother comes up and whispers to me that I should know about health and safety laws in the country and that I have to get that dog out or she'll have the whole restaurant shut down. I explained that I'm well aware of health and safety codes and that there are exceptions regarding service animals. I tell her she's welcome to try to shut down the restaurant, but we haven't violated any code. She then changes her tune and says it's not safe for a wild animal to be around her children. At this point, the first table have overheard her. I fully agree and ask her to leave and find a different restaurant. I don't understand why some customers go immediately to an extreme. If she told me she didn't feel safe near a dog, I would have moved them as far away as I could have. I honestly did not expect this to end with, yeah, so I politely told that family to get the F out. She deserved it, though. And our second story. Just because we're open for a private event doesn't mean we're open. I work at a museum in a touristy seaside town. We also feature a tower which is climbable and which looks quite lovely at night. We have nice grounds and gardens and often host weddings or other events after hours. We close at 7 p.m. One night, I'm working a wedding. It's about 8:30 p.m. The music is thumping and the guests are politely smashed. Because we have to keep the front door unlocked so guests of the wedding can come and go, we have a sign on the door saying we're closed for a private event. A family of 4 appear at the door, a woman, her mother, and 2 teenage children. They stand at the door and read the sign, then open the door and come into the lobby. Woman, are you open? Me, no, I'm afraid we're closed for a wedding. I tell her when we'll be open tomorrow. Woman, we're leaving town tomorrow. Can we still climb the tower? This logic does nothing for me. We're open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. You couldn't have found time during the day to stop by then? Also, no, you can't climb the tower because it's locked at its usual 7 p.m. time, regardless of any event on the grounds. Me, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. The grounds are for the private event. Woman, but I brought my mother all the way up the hill to climb the tower. You're telling me she can't climb? Again, this does nothing. If we didn't have a wedding going on, we would not only still be closed, but the front doors would be locked, the lights would be out, and I wouldn't be there for you to argue with. And I'm not going to feel sorry for your mother for climbing the hill if she was prepared to climb the tower as well. I ask her to please leave. Basically, if she tries to go any further, they would technically be crashing the wedding, and I can't imagine the wedding party would be pleased we let them through. Woman, well, at least let us take some pictures. They go up to the door leading out to the grounds and the tower, the opposite direction of the exit. Woman, can we go outside to take photos? Me, I'm sorry, but I can't allow that. There is a private event going on. They stand at the doors and try to take photos through the glass. Their flash photography makes the photos look washed out with the light bouncing off the glass. They stand at the doors and try to take photos through the glass. Their flash photography makes the photos too washed out with the light bouncing off the glass. They grumble about how bad their photos are coming out. Just then, a wedding guest comes through the door to ask where the bathroom is. The woman says, "Go, go," and she and her family take the opportunity of the open door to hurry outside towards the wedding. Now, I'm small, but I work with children during the off-season, and I can have an authoritative voice when I want to. I go to the door and shout to the family, "Excuse me." They turn and look back at me. "There is a private event going on. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." They finally get the idea. They grumble some more, but at least they have their precious photographs and they finally leave. And our last story. Landscaping owner rips my friend off of $400, so my friend makes him incur $15,000 in expenses. A while back, my friend was selling some stuff online, and among the items was a water heater. You know, the ones you see in every community hall/church kitchen. It was in working condition. He threw it up online for $150 and got an email from a person who runs a landscaping business telling him he'll give him $100 cash today. Done. 2 weeks later, he got an email saying it's not working. Weird. So my friend offered to give a full refund or cover repair cost if it's under $100. The guy instead sent an invoice for $400 saying the repairs had been done, and if my friend doesn't pay it in 48 hours, he'll send a debt collector after him. He paid it, out of fear, and emailed him the confirmation. The landscaping owner then emailed back saying, "This is the price you sometimes have to pay when selling secondhand electronics," followed by, "Have a great day. Don't let this hold you back," with a smiley face at the end of the email. A month later, my friend was in a bar and he overhears a girl talking about how her boss, who runs a landscaping firm, screwed over some dummy selling a water heater. My friend says, "Oh, damn, I gotta hear this. Do you mind if I join your table?" And the girl said sure and told the story. Her boss had bought a busted water heater from a secondhand store for $25 and a working one for $100 and billed the seller for the repair for the busted one before he sold it for $300 on some community group. My friend asked, "Who did this so I don't hire that guy to fix up my yard?" Ha ha ha's all around. She says the company name, and lo and behold, it's on the email of the guy my friend sold the water heater to. He was the dummy in the story. He told me he was pretty angry about it, but COVID then hit, so he had other stuff to worry about. 18 months later, he was browsing the website he originally sold the water heater on, and he saw a bunch of landscaping materials, shovels, gardening stuff, wheelbarrows, lights for working at night, drills, nail guns, some construction materials, and a generator. Now, in my friend's location, apparently if you're selling a generator, then you need to have a warrant of fitness for it, proving that it works, it's safe, no flayed wires, etc., etc. Most people ignore it, and he saw that this generator was being sold by the landscaping firm. This generator, he said, just by looking at it, there was no way in hell it would have a WOF. Word of note, failure for a business to provide a WOF upon request for a generator after 2 weeks, when reported to the official departments and enforced by the court, the punishment is a hefty fine, and the courts often force the seller to refund the affected party and pay any cost that they incurred. He talked to his flatmate, who agreed that they would go 50-50 on the generator, but he would transfer the money. Now, my friend had never met the landscaping firm owner face-to-face. When selling the water heater, he left it outside and pickup was confirmed via his security camera. And when he gets there, it was clear that the owner, this old grumpy-looking man who enjoyed yelling at his employees, had emptied out his storage unit. The owner was very much as it is, no refund, and the flatmate showed him the transfer confirmation, and they take the generator for $800. No warrant of fitness provided. They then took it to a friend of theirs who's an electrician, and he agreed to check it and give an invoice for repairs, and to quote the friend, "It'd be cheaper to buy a new generator, and to be honest, this generator shouldn't have been sold. It should have been scrapped." They also found that the main identifier number had been scratched off, but not a second number that's often recorded as well on WOFs for tracking purposes. So they got in contact with the seller, telling him the cost for repair, around $5,000. He promptly tells them that he's not paying, as it is, no refund, to which they then asks, "Have you got the warrant of fitness for this generator?" Silence for 2 days. They followed up with another email asking for it, no response. They then ask again and get an email from him saying that he'll take it back for $800. They say, "No, we want the WOF," and they get no response. They emailed him every day for 2 weeks. Nothing. So they printed out the original item listing that had been screenshotted and had been archived on the website and reported him to the website and then the government. 4 months later, my friend is in court, and the guy went up to him. He tells him that he'll take back the generator for $800 and that my friend and his flatmate will be going in to tell the judge that the seller has refunded them and that they want it all dropped, and that's what's happening here. Full stop, end of story. They're doing what they're told to do. My friend said no. So they went into the courtroom, and it's over very quickly. The inspector the government sent out to inspect the generator stated that it was in poor condition, shouldn't have been sold, was highly unsafe, and that the seller had tried to get the generator a WOF in early 2021, but instead had been told that it was to be repaired or scrapped and that it was not to be sold. They identified it by a second number on the generator that they took down in the original attempt to get it WOF'd, which had not been scratched out like the first. The judge ordered the landscaping firm owner to refund the flatmate the $800, pay the $5,000 for repairs to the generator, and was ordered to pay a $10,000 fine, which would be given directly to my friend's flatmate as the affected party. When they left the courtroom, the owner was furious and told them that under no uncertain terms was he paying them a penny more and that he couldn't understand what he'd done to deserve such treatment. To which my friend said, "Remember the water heater?" He gave him a very confused look. "Remember the water heater you bought for $100? Well, I do, because I sold it to you. And I know that you had a different one repaired and invoiced me for it." His jaw was on the floor. And to hit it home, he said, "It's a B, isn't it, when what goes around comes around, especially when it accumulated interest. You have 48 hours to pay or a debt collector will be contacted. Remember, this is the price you sometimes have to pay when selling secondhand electronics. Have a great day. Don't let this hold you back." And they left. He paid the $15,000 2 days later. My friend and the flatmate split the $10,000 50-50 as they agreed, combination of rent payments and study stuff. The generator they got repaired and then got a WOF for it before selling it for $1,000 with a newly replaced identifier number. They went out for a wonderful dinner and night out in town. Impressive. Made him eat his words and hit his pocket. It doesn't get much better than this. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.